The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan.
Kid, I'm literally in a Papa John's right now.
Shall we play a game?
You got several things to do. You've got work, kids in school. What do you do when it's all over?
How do you hand something from one player to another?
Turn on the TV, pick up the controller and play some games with the new clan.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nude Clan, the video game podcast that doesn't want to be bothered by video games, but we will watch a shitload of movies. I'm your host, Caleb Schweiss.
I'm your other host, Joseph DeGaulier.
I'm A4.
And man, you got to work on your impersonation of Mark Wahlberg, A4. You
I'm
live
sorry,
over
it's
there.
not very good.
You live up there. We don't live anywhere near
Yeah,
there.
you live in the Northeast. That means you have the same accent.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe if I beat up a Vietnamese guy, I'll be able to sound more like him.
Oh shit! Oh man, damn, that's fun. That's harsh. That's oh man.
He was asking for it.
Hey, some guys like bees. I just want to get away from the Vietnamese comment as quick as possible.
Yeah. We don't talk about that anymore.
We don't
That was
talk.
a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Okay, he was a different guy back then.
Yeah, now I'm managing Wahlburgers. It's fun.
Hey, did you know I got a Academy Award nomination for The Departed?
Did he really?
Yeah, he really got one. He's an Academy Award nominated actor for The Departed.
Yeah, nice.
He just
Definitely
has to stand,
not for this movie where I
has to
barely
stand-
do
He
anything.
has to stand behind he has to stand beside a desk and say mean things and scowl, and then later he shoots someone in the face, and it's actually a really cool reveal. It's a really great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I think he does a great job in that. By the way,
No, they're
I'm
all
not
awesome.
making light of that. That role, it's really good.
Yeah. He's always angry or like jokey. That's the only
Or
two
he's
things.
like he's looking around with his like eyes, and his eyes always like darting around. They're looking for the truth, and his eyebrows sometimes kind of arch when they're looking for the truth, and they're looking for some treasure, or perhaps there's some beasts.
I can only star in movies that end in "arded." The Departed, Uncharted. In 2024, I'll be in a movie called Retarded.
Happenotted, the Happenotted.
Transformers 5, The Last Night.
the last of the retarded. Last of the retarded fans that come see these fucking movies. There was only one there.
I hate working out too. I just hate
The Rock. I mean, why even work out?
a pain and gain totted.
Yeah. Next to that guy, I look like a fucking kid. Look like a child.
So Uncharted.
Uncharted? Tell me about Uncharted. I heard about this
Uncharted
movie. I
is
heard it
a
was really good.
2022 action-adventure movie directed by Ruben Fleischer, who's the guy who directed Venom, Zombieland, Gangster Squad. And it stars Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg for some reason. I don't know why they're casted as these
'Cause
characters.
they look
'cause
exactly
they're way
the
too young to
same.
be either of them. What?
They look exactly the same. They're 10 years apart. No, 10,
Yeah.
20 years apart. I'm sorry.
Yeah, where's your hip hop band, kid? Come on.
It's also got a bunch of other people in it.
that with Mark or
The only one
Brother?
I can really recognize is Antonio Banderas.
Antonio
And
Banderas.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
movie based on Sony's hit movie franchise, the Uncharted movies for PS3 and PS4.
Yeah. No, it's Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
that's Mark Wahlberg.
All right.
Had
Sorry.
a long career.
He had a long career, a long story career. He's an actor. He's a rapper. He's a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He's all sorts of things.
A vicious anti-Vietnamese.
He's an extreme,
Should've won this movie.
violent racist.
Yeah. Should have won the war. I'm gonna win the war myself now.
They
Don't worry
cast Tom
about it.
Holland as Drake in,
Yeah,
in
kidding.
2017,
Kind of.
by the way.
He
which is
what?
insane.
He what?
What?
He what?
What was that?
They cast Tom Holland as Drake back in 2017, which I find insane because
He was barely alive.
already pretty young looking in this movie.
Tom Holland
like,
was born in 2016.
I mean, he might as well have been.
Tom Holland was born in 1996.
They didn't give me this
God, I'm
role.
old. Fuck me.
I didn't get this role till
So he got the role back.
2019.
He got the role when he was like 22 or something.
He must have been fresh off Spider-Man when they decided to do that. This movie was supposed to come out in 2020, but stuff happened. Like the Great Reset, and now it's out in theaters a whole like year and a half later.
you heard about the Vietnamese and the Great Reset.
God, dude, stop bringing it up. I've read the story on that, and I actually like kind of feel bad for the guy. I also feel bad for the other guy,
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna go into detail on that. But I just like,
they're trying to change everything.
you do stupid things when you're a kid.
Yeah,
Sometimes they're horrendous, and I don't think he needs to be
no, I think
dragged
it's
through the
fine.
coals for that.
You do dumb stuff.
Besides what he's already been dragged through for it. So
yeah,
what am I? Who am I to say?
yeah.
Who am I to judge?
I mean, you viciously hate the.
Don't.
Just kidding. Don't tell him.
Let's not focus Let's
Canadians.
not focus on when the Vietnamese thing. Let's focus on this movie where Mark Wahlberg beats up a black lady in a Papa John's.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact I was like, I had to like think there. I was like, okay, and this, where did they go again? Is it Spain?
Yeah, I think so.
Barcelona, yeah.
So they go into Spain, and I'm like, okay, do they really have like shops that are like
Built into the
built
ancient
into
architecture.
these ancient architecture? I'm like, if they, I've never been to Europe, and I'm like, if they do, that's a fucking travesty. Like, get that
Yeah,
shit
a little
out of there. Of course, me anti chains and
The old
capitalism,
anti-capitalist
yeah.
Joe.
Anti-capitalist Joe, just like, I just like things to be beautiful more than I like them to be functional. I'll admit I appreciate function or beauty
Yeah.
more than function.
The hard
but
thing about somewhere like that, though, is it's already built.
it's already built in.
So like, what do you
yeah.
do? Break it all?
I mean,
Yeah.
the
They do
Papa
put it behind a.
John's-
They do put the key behind a glass.
yeah.
Oh my god! I gotta
Yeah.
stop
Glass
doing that, Mark
map.
Wahlberg.
I got it. The only thing I had to break the glass was her fucking head. I'm starting to turn into Joe Pesci a little bit there.
I mean, 3 gunshots didn't do it. It was only until he threw her into it that it broke.
I'm gonna fucking throw your head into the glass.
That
Come
Papa
here.
John's that Papa John's thing in that movie is almost as bad as like the Olive Garden thing from Sonic, but
Yeah. One of them gives me. Actually, no. Both of them kind of give me stomach problems. As per the last time I had Papa John's.
it's even more egregious with the Sonic movie because like there's already a restaurant franchise called Sonic. They literally had that teed up for them, and they sell chili dogs.
Yeah.
Anyway, Uncharted. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. More of a good time than I thought I was going to.
That's the review,
I'm-
guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say I'm very infamously anti Naughty Dog on this podcast. I don't think they are good at making video games.
Hey man,
And-
Last of Us is a great game.
Last of Us is like their best game.
it
I'll admit
is.
that's a good game, but I never played Jack and Daxter. I think the Crash Bandicoot games are fine, but they're like needlessly hard
Yeah.
and not in like a way that like the games are designed well. And I think Uncharted, while visually exciting games, are very bland and they don't play well.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like if you don't do exactly what the game wants you to do, you just eat shit.
That's interesting because all I ever heard when Uncharted 2 came out was that it was like the greatest thing ever.
I didn't even
Dude,
finish it. So
Really?
It's
I'm just
I think
I don't think I had the system at the time, or maybe I did and I couldn't afford it or something like that. And it's like that game came out and it was like game of the year and a whole bunch of
Yeah.
shit.
yeah, it was like one of the most award-winning games ever.
Yeah, it was
Kind
like
of
a.
deal.
I think
a
it was
big
just
fucking
because
deal.
it was back in like 2009 before like every game had that kind of cinematic like flair to it. So it was really different. And I think just because it had so many amazing, visual set pieces, it kind of tricked people into thinking that like this otherwise very mediocre adventure game was just like this amazing, mind blowing fucking thing.
I mean, It's all
it
part
doesn't
of the
really hold up
experience.
super well in a modern context, especially considering a lot more games look and kind of play like that
I don't know.
in that like
Uncharted 4,
cinematic scope.
a lot of people blew too, so and that's way more modern.
Yeah.
That's like only a few years ago, right? Like 4 years ago or so.
I don't know. We can't remember it. We can't figure it out. It's
Can't
been,
remember.
It's Uncharted.
We forgot The Departed. The Departed game of Uncharted 4.
I gotta look at his credits list, see if we can find another Odded.
Yeah. You're going to find it. You'll find it,
The
pal.
Odded trilogy.
Yeah. We got Retarded. We got Departed.
Retarded.
favorite-
I'm pretty
favorite,
sure he's never been in a movie called Retarded.
My favorite bit though is like because Crash Bandicoot got a kart racer, like and Jack and Daxter got a kart racer, they were like, okay, next is gonna be Uncarted, and then after that is gonna be The Fast of Us.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, this movie is making bank. By the way, 200.
Oh yeah, no, it's a really good. Oh yeah, it's sorry, I didn't see it here. It's 271.6 million out of 120 million budget.
Yeah, that's a big budget, but
But it's also exclusively in movie theaters. That might be helping because a lot of the movies that like aren't making a ton of money these days, like a lot of the Pixar stuff, it's because it's like exclusively on Disney Plus. So like any of the box office revenue is coming from like overseas.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, that's,
not making a lot of money, but it's $40 to rent on Disney Plus.
that has always been a thing
Jesus
for
fucking Christ.
not only for Disney but for all the major studios is to have their library be making money, so that basically like they have new movies just to create a bigger and more expansive library, so that they like always are raking in
Just to
money.
have content.
Just more
Yeah.
and more content. So this isn't a new move from Disney. It's just that, theatrical experience probably going to shrink by a bit because they're doing that shit. But
Yeah. And it's already been dying anyway.
it wasn't really
Yeah, but I
dying.
mean,
that was
I
such
am glad
bullshit.
to see that some of these like
Now it's dying.
new
Now
movies
it
like
is.
this and Venom
Told
2
ya.
are like exclusive to theaters.
I'll prove my point. I'll
No,
pull a.
what it
I'll-
will do is just adjust to the size, so it's not
Yeah, no, I
dying.
know.
It's not going to go away.
I know
It's
that's what
just
people don't
adjusts.
understand. It's like with anything, they're like, "Oh, the ice caps are melting." It's
Like
like, yeah,
there's-
that's not going to be like a fucking tsunami of all the water that the ice caps melted. Like it's going to slowly rise.
Yeah.
And if you meet the challenge, you met the challenge. It's not going to be like, "Oh, they melted and now there's a fucking 900-foot wave that's going to just annihilate half of the country." Like
What are you
it
talking
adjusts.
about? The Day After Tomorrow
adjusts.
was a fucking documentary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised Roland Emmerich doesn't have any video game-based movies. He'd be a perfect
Didn't he do
director.
Rampage?
Roland Emmerich did Rampage?
Hold on.
Rampage.
He probably didn't. I'm just
I mean,
oh.
That's one of the better ones, so
Yeah.
maybe?
uh,
I don't think
okay,
so.
maybe he didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have any fucking
Hey, that
video
does
game
seem
movies.
like
What
a
video game movie
remake,
would
yeah.
like fit his fucking? you know.
Uncharted 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
So Uncharted stars Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, Mark Wahlberg as Sully, and it's like an alternative origin story for Nathan Drake, which they cover in Uncharted 3, where he like meets Sully and like kind of learns how to be a thief. But
I think
and it
Mark
does take-
Wahlberg as young Sully is like perfect, honestly.
yeah, kind of, yeah, but like I still don't really buy either of them as the characters that they're supposed to be.
I mean, young Nathan Drake maybe, but Nathan Fillion is essentially Nathan Drake to me, like later in life. I don't know why, but Nathan Fillion just kind of reminds me of.
It's the nose.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like Nolan North basically just kind of looks like Drake anyway.
Yeah, but
And he's
he
got a
an
cameo in this
actor?
movie for like a second, so that's cool.
Oh, was he in there?
Yeah, when they wash up on the island resort after like falling out of the plane.
Oh,
and
that's
the guy's
right,
Like,
yeah.
what happened to you?
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, it happened to me once."
Yeah, that's Nolan North.
That's right. That's right. I remember that.
The only other Easter egg I could really pull out of this movie was like when he opens up his little case filled with his brother's postcards. There's a Naughty Dog sticker on the inside.
Yeah, that's true.
I think I'm looking at a picture of Nathan Drake, and Nathan Drake just looks like a generic leading man.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think
but
he looks
Tom
like
Holland's just
anybody
too,
specifically.
I think he looks a
Tom
little
Holland's
like
too
me.
baby-faced, I think.
Tom Holland is. I mean, but I bet they're trying to make a franchise out of this because they
Well,
always are.
definitely are,
And
because
they're spending
there's
a bunch
sequel
of
hook
money
at the
on it.
fucking end of the movie.
And so, yeah, spending a bunch of money on it. And so, like, Tom Holland is, he'll age into it.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah,
will age into
hopefully.
it.
So, Mark Wahlberg's, how old does this character need to be?
What, Sully?
He's probably like in his 50s.
He's got like
or
gray
60s.
hair,
Yeah.
so
No, he's probably about Mark Wahlberg's age, I guess.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg's like,
He's probably like 50, isn't he?
he's got to be
Upper 40s, probably.
upper 40s or mid 50s. Where's Mark Wahlberg at?
Where's Mark?
he doesn't even get the damn mustache until the fucking mid-credits scene.
Mark Wahlberg is age 50. He's right there.
Yeah.
50 years old. So when they filmed this, he was probably like 47.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. That's a different guy.
I'm just trying to think of like what to talk about, because like without just going into like a full synopsis of the movie.
Well, like in the mood, it's a fun movie. Like it's just like colorful and bombastic with like a lot
Big
of
dumb
like,
set pieces.
big-
I described it to my dad as like
Big dumb
modern day Indiana Jones with a James Bond twist.
I
Because
think
there's like a bit of espionage going on there with like
the set pieces
you know.
are more insane in a lot of ways, especially the ships being flown on the helicopters.
Yeah, I was like,
that,
what the fuck?
Now the chases
there
and
is
everything.
a movie.
Yeah.
There is a movie that I kept comparing this to in my mind, and it's a way better movie than this. But Tintin
Okay.
is
yeah.
like a way better version
yeah,
of this
I see
movie.
that. I see that.
And I really felt it when you had the two ships at the end, like flying through the fucking air fighting. It reminded me of like
Yeah, it
the
reminded
the
you
end
of a
Tintin
cartoon.
where they're having a fucking sword fight with like cranes.
We're fighting with the ships.
We're fighting with the ships. Isn't this so realistic?
It's crazy.
I don't even really care if it's realistic
I
or
don't
not,
care
because
either, to
like
be honest.
Uncharted has always been about really big dumb set pieces that are like insane.
yeah, the thing
I mean,
that
they literally open the movie with the one from Uncharted 3 where he's like hanging on all the cargo flying out the back of the airplane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the one part. Okay, not the one part. I do have some reservations about the movie, having to do with like that opening specifically, and honestly, just big budget movies in general, because they did the exact same thing in a James Bond movie. I don't know if you have seen this or remember this, A4, but Living Daylights, like the entire like climax of that movie takes place where they're like hanging on to like the cargo in a plane, and the difference is that's fucking real in Living Daylights when they filmed that in the 80s. And they're like on the back of that cargo plane. They're there. It's like stunt guys. You can kind of tell in some shots they're wearing like parachutes underneath their shirts, but like it has the realism of it, and it's fucking like crazy cool and terrifying. In this, it's like all CGI. Like you can just tell, like the green screen is really obvious.
yeah, it's flapping in the wind from the plane.
But I mean, yeah, and that mostly bothered me at the beginning, because when they actually get back to that scene and everything's going like really quickly, it's not as big of a deal when like the CGI is not that great. But right at the beginning,
I'm sure
of the
they just
movie
wanted to hang on that at the beginning to kind of like draw people in. They're doing the exact same thing that Uncharted 2 did, where it starts with Nathan Drake like in the train that's like hanging off the cliff,
yeah.
and you have to climb up it. It's like the tutorial, and then eventually you get back to that like halfway through the game.
Yeah, so it's he's got like the main kid has a brother. I say kid.
He is a kid.
He has a brother that they're both living at an orphanage or something like that, and the brother goes off to he badly behaves, I guess, for stealing some shit, and then
because they're just sneaking into a fucking museum and like trying to steal him like the first map of the world or some shit.
Fair enough, and fair enough. Good reason to get kicked out of something. So he goes on like a treasure hunt, and then Mark Wahlberg, reconnects with the kid because he knows he's his brother, and there's like a twist.
Yeah, he knew
with that.
Sam.
But and so the idea is like, oh, you come with me, you might be able to find your brother, and then also
Find Magellan's treasure.
Yeah,
all this like gold.
They need to find Magellan's treasure, and like the kid at that moment, he's like a bartender who also is like a pickpocket thief.
Yeah.
And then they go on like a crazy convoluted adventure with Antonio Banderas as the bad guy initially, and then his henchman that he hires that's like one of the like fellow thieves, it then slits his throat and then becomes like the main bad chick.
The
and
eldritch thief.
She's looking for the treasure too. And of course they do after like all these like double crossings and everything like that, they do eventually find the keys. Was it the keys? No, they had the keys.
Yeah, they're like two crosses that like are keys
They
to
had the
like
keys.
unlock the way.
They got into the place with all the salt. I'm trying to remember how they got from the salt to the
Because inside the urns of salt there was a map that
Yeah.
like shows
Okay.
you where to go.
all right, and then they
But
figured
then
out like a
what's
puzzle
her
with
face
it.
steals it.
Yeah, they figured out a puzzle with it, and then they eventually go to the thing. And of course, like the main chick in there, like the hot chick.
We
There's-
tricked her.
There's got to be one.
She's a double
There's a
crosser.
few the villain's hot too.
They're all hot.
Uh,
You
yeah.
can't trust her.
Yeah, especially Mark and Mark.
Although Chloe is actually from the game. She's in Uncharted 2 and 3.
She did look like someone I had seen in a still from that game.
Yeah.
So I had assumed, I was like, okay, she must be actually like connected to the thing. So, and then they eventually, they find the treasure. There's some ridiculous thing where they're like the bad guys are getting the treasure. Like they're picking up ships with helicopters.
There's like the
pretty sure.
ships
Old
are in like a
wrecks.
fucking lagoon
Uh,
that like is completely inaccessible unless you dive under the water. And
yeah,
so
but it's like
they just like airlift it out with helicopters because there's a big fucking hole.
You
at the
know
top
what-
of
No
the-
one
of
ever
the
saw
cavern.
that.
yeah, no one ever saw it. No one ever thought, hey, I wonder what that light is coming from under the like water down there. Maybe I can swim 10 feet and
yeah,
check
no
it
one
out.
ever looked at that cove exactly. It's like so
Ever?
ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm like, what
Uh,
the fuck? No one ever looked down in the hole and they're like, holy shit, there's old
It
boats
was
down there.
Uncharted. You
Two
needed the
big
two. You needed the
ships.
two crosses to make a compass to
Yeah,
find out where
otherwise-
the spot is.
Otherwise, you're not gonna find it.
Yeah, they're like, hey, I found a ship down there. Yeah, but do you have the cross key? No key, no ship.
No key, no
Come
ship, no
on.
service.
You can't just go down there.
And then they have like a crazy like battle on
Pretty
the
nuts, yeah.
on the helicopter,
The
which was
fucking
like
boats.
I was like, all right, this movie it knows what it is. It's ridiculous and it's fun. So I enjoy this movie. I have never played the Uncharted games. I've had an interest in playing them, like a passing one, but I've never played them. I realize they're like kind of Indiana Jones inspired, right?
Yeah.
So like
It's basically Tomb Raider, but if you're a guy.
yeah.
Yeah, Tomb
Instead
Raider,
of
but
Lara
we
Croft.
took back the male race took back the hunting of the tombs.
We took it back. The thing that would concern me when we were leading up to this was like it's gonna be a copy of a copy of a copy. So like Indiana Jones is like this like cool like mashup thing that's pretty original, and then like you then take that kind of like that concept and then you do it again but with different characters, and you can do that in a video game basically, and then taking another movie and then copying from the video game. Like, how much originality are we gonna have at the end of the day here? The answer, not much on this one, but it was well done, and I thought the characters were good and it was funny.
The strength is definitely like the
was-
strength
it
of
was just
Uncharted
fun.
has always been like character interaction, the writing, basically.
Yeah, and I think it pulled through in this movie. I don't know like what it's actually based on within the games.
Kind of nothing. Like this is original. Like I said,
Oh, okay.
the plane scene is ripped straight from Uncharted 3, and the idea of like Sully meeting Drake and kind of diving into Drake's past is from 3, and like I believe Uncharted 4 is the one that like introduced the idea that he had a brother, and it was just sort of like retconned in that he always had a brother, because that brother is never mentioned ever in the original trilogy of games.
Okay.
So that's kind of been added into, I guess.
Yeah, you almost wonder though, like, when you're doing these things or watching these shows or reading these books or anything that you're doing, like, how often would something like that even come up? Like if you're a thief and you're working with other untrustworthy thieves, like, you really gonna talk about your long lost brother? You know what I mean? It's like it's one of
I
those.
guess I'm just
retcons. It's
saying,
kinda
like, if he
a
was such an
safe-
important person to, I didn't play Uncharted 4, so I might be talking on my ass. But
Yeah.
if he was such an important person to Drake, you'd think it would like come up at least once.
Yeah, maybe with Sully or something.
Yeah,
Come on.
But
Talk
I mean,
about
they,
your
they worked
brother.
it in well enough here, where he like got the Sully connection.
He's in jail because
So-
he was fucking retarded. He got
Yeah.
caught. Yeah.
He looks at the end of the movie. He looks like Ron Perlman in Monster Hunter. He's got like all this crazy hair going
Your
on.
brother's Ron Perlman? You never told me that.
Yeah.
He could have saved us.
There's a bunch of like fun, like cool stunts. I do like the chase at the beginning of the Spain stuff.
When they're running on the rooftops and then they
yeah.
like fall in the.
That was like
the
pretty. That
fountain.
was a pretty good chase. It was like, okay, yeah, good camera movement.
Also,
good
pretty
action
accurate
here.
to what you'd find in the games, honestly. So.
So, yeah, I had as an audience member who had no investment in anything. I went in there with low expectation, and I came out. I was like, I enjoyed my time.
Yeah.
Thought that was
That
fun.
was kind of what happened to me too, really. Because
jokes
again,
were
I'm not like
pretty
a
good.
huge fan of these games. I think they're pretty
Yeah.
mediocre at the end of the day as like video games. But I think it makes a better movie, honestly.
Yeah.
There was a good audience when I went to. Like it was pretty full, and like
Yeah.
a lot of people were like laughing, having a good time, and so
It's
Yeah.
got genuinely funny moments too.
Yeah,
like
it
the
does.
banter is good. I mean, it's always been good in the games, so it makes sense.
Yeah, the one part in the beginning where like Nathan Drake is like sneaking into the section of the museum, and then like that one fucking dude just comes across him and says some like he says like some huge long line about something and giving him like,
a really thick
a Scottish
Scottish accent. Oh.
Yeah, I also love that because I love any piece of media that reinforces the idea that Scottish people are not capable of human language.
Yeah. And he's like, "What? Excuse me, what did you say?"
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of little good ones in there. I was laughing in this movie. It was a good time, and it's not laughing at it, laughing with it.
Yeah, that's
And
different.
and
Trying to make me
I was
laugh.
expecting
no-
I was
there's
I
no
was really
ridiculous
let
cat
down at the very
pirate.
beginning.
Yeah.
Because when he's like hanging off the cargo and that one guy like falls off and he just literally yells back and goes sorry, and it's like, okay, he wouldn't do that. Like Nathan Drake murders hundreds of fucking people in these games.
Yeah, I mean he's a kid now. He's a kid in this one.
I guess,
So
but
is
it's like
this
he's
like an
still
origin
kind of
story?
like almost
I think
murders
so.
a bunch of people even leading up to that point in the movie anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I had a good time in this one. Yeah, I don't really have very many negative things to say. Like it's, it's kind of
Yeah, like
bland story-wise, I
besides
guess.
besides the Papa John's thing, which was just kind of dumb. Like, I mean, it made for a good laugh, but the puzzles, while they literally solved them right the fuck away in every single instance, like they were still clever. It really did feel accurate to the games in that sense.
Oh my God, Schweiss.
There's probably one too many betrayals in the movie.
Well, that's also kind of like usually double crossings happen all the fuck. I mean, you played how many of these did you play, Schweiss? I know you finished the first one.
1.5. Why? What's up?
Okay.
Did you have another Arted movie?
I've got something interesting here.
Is there an article about how many?
I'm just surprised at how good this movie is. I had forgotten this because I remember I was like dreading this before I saw the movie. Then after saw the movie, I had completely forgotten this, like straight memory wipe on who had written this movie. So the screenplay, there's 3 credits, one of which is a writing team and then one individual. The writing team is Art Markham and Matt Holloway. They had written the scripts of Iron Man and Punisher Warzone. So Iron Man, solid movie. I've never seen that Punisher movie.
I think it's supposed to be pretty bad. I can't remember.
Okay. Well, so they're a writing team, and then the other person who wrote this,
Was it Quentin Tarantino?
either Rafe or Rafe Lee Judkins, Salt Lake City, Utah native, by the way.
Oh, cool.
American showrunner and television personality. Best known as the showrunner for the Amazon original series,
Oh God,
The
no!
Wheel of Time.
Oh,
no
fuck!
shit.
Oh, come on!
He just had 2 big hits in a row.
Oh, fuck this guy.
Yeah, also
Dude.
has writing credits on My Own Worst Enemy, Chuck, and Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
He's my worst enemy. Like that, the Wheel of Time show sucks, doesn't it? Like you don't want to watch more.
I am not watching another episode. I watched the season premiere, and I think after talking to you and talking to Timo and basically everybody on the planet, I'm like, I'm not watching any more of this. Because here's the thing with the Wheel of Time show. It sucks as a show.
Yeah, no, it does.
It's not me being a Wheel of Time fan and being like, they changed things. Like the things that they changed, I thought were like weird changes. I'm like, I don't know why they're doing that, but I was also like, this is bad. This is only.
Am I wrong that like no one knows how to fucking write anymore, like television specifically? But
I don't know.
like,
I don't watch
it
much
seems like
TV.
almost every fucking like prestige TV show that comes out now, like everyone talks about it for maybe a week and then it's gone. And I don't
That's
think
just the
anything is
nature
like.
of
That's just
TV
because
at
they're
the time.
making a shitload of TV.
No, but also like. It's not like everyone talks about this shit like it's Game of Thrones or The Sopranos. You know what I mean?
no,
like,
but those are.
It just seems like people don't know how to fucking write anymore.
I feel like those
like-
type of shows there's only like one show going of that ilk
Of that
at a
caliber.
time.
Yeah, that's
No,
why.
I know, but what I'm saying is
Right
like
now, all I'm hearing is Euphoria shit, and I'm like, I guess I'll get to it eventually. But
No, I've seen clips of Euphoria. It looks like utter dog shit.
I watched-
It's a chick show.
I watched
it's
a little
literally
bit
just
of
chicks
it.
yelling at each
shut
other.
the dude. I watched the show Girls. It's not a chick show just because there's chicks in it.
I have
No, it's a
no
chick show,
interest in
trust me.
Euphoria. I
Trust
watched a
me.
little with Alex, and I'm like, "Is this a show for me?" And she's like, "Oh no, it's not a show for you." I'm like, "Okay," because I don't like it very much.
Well,
right
no,
now.
I'm just saying if you got like the one conversation piece show
Yeah.
going on,
Well,
at
that's
a
why-
time, like you're like, okay, Sopranos, and then what? Seinfeld, and then what? Game of Thrones, and then what? Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Right,
the
but
Breaking
there's like
Bad.
plenty of other shows from like the mid 2000s that like don't get talked about a lot that are still like well written.
Yeah.
like funny.
Well, there's so
don't
many
know.
shows now that I don't know that your opinion is one that I would trust on that.
Yeah,
That's
there's just
fair.
there's a lot
That's
of
fair.
quantity, so it's hard to say
Yeah.
what the quality is because there's always been a lot of quantity and there's a lot of garbage.
Well, I think like
Only the good stuff over time sifts through.
Yeah.
right? Everything else kind of falls away.
that's been the case
That's
since the
true,
beginning
but
of
like
time.
I feel like every time I
yeah,
fucking we've had this conversation so many times on the show before, but I feel like anytime I walk in the room and my wife is watching something off of Netflix or Amazon, like one of their originals, I'm always like watching and going like, is this even like entertaining you? Like you're on your phone. Like none of this seems like
These
good.
look, man, these women, they watch their shows, but they don't watch them. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, oh, I like to do this stuff while the show's on. I'm like, but it's a show.
That's a
You're
TV
supposed
show.
to
That's what
watch
TV
it.
shows are made for, Schweiss.
I know, but like, I like the show where I'm like, can't look away. That's probably
Yeah.
why I only watch.
There's
like,
not that
3
many shows like
Yeah.
that. Television is made for people doing chores at the same time. It is literally made for people to fold laundry while they're watching something.
Yeah.
No,
is-
that's what podcasts are for.
Neither of those things happen around these parts, but
And especially TV shows nowadays are not made for people to fold their laundry to because TV shows nowadays are just 10-hour movies.
yeah,
Because it's all fucking serialized and like overarching plots
they're
and
changing things.
little tiny miss of details and whatever the fuck.
Man, that Chernobyl show was amazing, man.
Oh shit! I forgot to mention in Monster Hunter.
Yeah, how much
that
laundry
the-
did you fold during Chernobyl?
None.
Exactly.
But not every show is going to be like that. It's just TV.
No, of course
It's
not.
made for that.
You know,
I
you're
forgot
gonna
to
have
say-
like your 2.5 Men and shit, but I mean, like those are all
Oh,
shows
yeah.
that got like made ages ago. Now everything's serialized and everything's got to be this long fucking narrative that always has like a cliffhanger at the end of the episode.
Because of, I think that's honestly just due to the fact that the medium is being consumed in the way that it is, and therefore the medium
Yeah.
has to shift in order to like go along with
with
that.
the binge.
Yeah, if you're a binge-worthy show, then you're not gonna just. There's not gonna be that. It's gonna be hard to sell a show that doesn't have a singular narrative that's threading through it.
I agree with that, but I'm also a proponent that like binge watching is like a very bad way of fucking like ingesting media.
Nah.
It depends.
Nah,
if
I've
I'm
been
watching,
I've been watched since the beginning. I've never watched a television show where it's just like one episode, except for Game of Thrones for a couple seasons, but that's it. I've
I
always
just
like,
mean like weekly releases give you more time to sort of like digest what you've been watching.
even when I was a teenager, we'd rent like an entire season of 24 and just watch it like crazy for a couple days.
yeah, I don't know. I think that I like what A4's saying more. That's kind of what I've done with Thrones since the beginning. I mean, I binge it when I'm watching it again now. I don't watch one at a time now.
No.
But back in the day, that was the shit. Like just the one a week, and you're like, nice.
Yeah,
One more next week.
I don't think that's not that's just not going to come around that often because it's such a high caliber thing.
I
Like,
think the high. No,
when you're
I-
saying like the writing sucks now, I'm saying there's a lot of writing going on. And how do you know how much writing is sucking?
yeah, how much TV show are you watching?
Yeah, how much TV are
But
you
just
watching?
based on every time I look at the television, my wife has something on, I'm going, this
Well,
is like actually
that-
dog shit.
What is it? I think that says more about what your wife is seeking out.
Yeah,
than
and I'm not.
anything else.
And honestly, my wife
Probably,
watches
yeah, but-
filth. So
Yeah. Is she like looking up like, oh, I wonder what got the Emmys for best writing. Let me look at my my TV guide and I'll check. Oh, this one was on Apple Plus. May we get Apple Plus, Caleb? And then you say, yes, we may, my dear. And then no, that's not what's going on.
Yeah.
She's just like, oh, this is the new show. I'll just watch this.
yeah, and she watches a lot of TV. Like it's kind of
And
like
to
a
be fair,
shitload.
most people do that.
It's
so.
weird to me. It's always been weird to me. Like going over to Craig's and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna watch our shows tonight. You have to go home." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, "Oh, we're gonna watch our shows." I'm like, "Your shows? What the fuck does that even mean?"
But I'm just saying,
What?
like the shows that I like find the writing to be like laughably bad. It's like there's shows that are talked about, like Handmaid's Tale or fucking any season of American Horror Story, and I watch them and I'm like, wait, what the fuck is this? Like, am I expected to take this seriously? Because the show sure as shit is.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched one season of American Horror Story and it was.
You're also a hipster.
American Horror Story might legitimately be the worst show on television. It's so bad.
Yeah.
I have no opinion on the shows themselves, but I would like the caveat for the audience. A for Extreme is a hipster, and
Oh,
therefore
am I
hates
now?
hates anything popular, even if it's well done.
That's not even remotely true. I love Elden Ring, and that's the most popular game being played right now.
Yeah, video games are his exception
Yeah.
sometimes.
And what
You're one of those people that was waiting for Game of Thrones to have a bad season or two and then just
Well,
lavishing in it.
okay, you got me there, but
Gotcha.
No, but like I like this Uncharted movie, and it
Why
seems
can't
to be
you
pretty
be
damn
miserable
popular.
like
At least
me?
it's making a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
I want you to be miserable just like me.
and
Come
and it's a
down
movie
here.
based on games that I don't necessarily think are good video games. I understand why they're popular. I understand why certain people like them, but I just like my video games to be like, video games.
Yeah, not movies.
I
Yeah,
like video games that you can play, not video games that you have to perform.
I think like Dead Space 2 had a good mix of that kind of stuff where like it's way more cinematic, and that was when like everything started becoming more cinematic, like big set pieces, but it's also like stripped down in a horror game too. It's
Yeah,
like a
I never
nice
played Dead
combo.
Space, but I've always been meaning to, and I get what you're saying.
Yeah, there's and then Dead Space 3 is like fucking way too far. So, it went too
I'm
hard.
sure I'll probably like the God of War 2018 game because it's kind of the same deal where it's very cinematic, and
Yeah,
know. or from what I've heard, it's also a good game. So
yeah. Man, I just
Where
miss
my problem with Uncharted as a video game is like there'll just be certain sections where like you have to do things a very specific way, otherwise you just get fucked. There's a video by a guy named Joseph Anderson, and granted it's like a 4-hour long video, but he goes over the first 3 Uncharteds and The Last of Us. It's called Uncharted: Great and Terrible Games, and it basically touches on like everything that like I wish I could say in a very succinct way, but I can't. There's just too much to talk about. But yeah, there's just parts of those games where it's like there's literally a part in like Uncharted 3 where you have to like shoot these big armored dudes and it takes forever, but you have to realize that like you have to like wait for this one dude with a rocket launcher to come up like behind you, kill him, steal the rocket launcher, and then you can kill the armored dudes. And so like that just seems really badly designed, if you're asking me.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
I'm not a game designer, so I can't really, Fringe philosophers asking what seasons of American Horror Story did I watch? Freak Show, which is I think one that everyone agrees is bad. I saw a bit of the first season, and I said to the girls who were trying to show it to me, "This is like a show for chicks, right?" And then I saw bits and pieces of like Hotel, and I saw the opening of whatever season where they literally based it off Trump winning the election, and that was like the opening scene, and it's hilarious. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Did you ever see Narcos though?
No, I need to see Narcos. I've heard it's great.
Well, Joe, you haven't even finished The Wire.
I haven't finished The Wire. But The Wire.
I've also heard The
first
Wire is great.
season was pretty darn good. Yeah, it was well made. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's great.
But yeah,
It's a good movie though. I
yeah,
liked
it is a good movie.
It's funny. It's entertaining. There's way too many double crosses. Like I said it before, it's like it gets kind of old by the end, where everyone's like betraying everybody and then not betraying and then betraying again and then we're gonna trust you again. Oh, we're gonna betray you again.
I liked that little twist where he put the wrong coordinates in.
that one was good. Yeah,
That was a good twist.
yeah, that was cool. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
I was like, God, this guy's an idiot. Like he's just gonna keep getting played by this bitch, and then he's like, ha, gotcha, fucker. Not verbatim, of course.
Well, I mean, you're saying he's an idiot, but actually, like he stole from people for a living before, so it's not like it's off of his radar. Like
That's true.
I think
yeah,
there's like
the
a
trick.
bit of like, oh yeah, we got to remember like he looks like Tom Holland, so he looks like Mr. Innocent Boy, but he's actually a fucking thief.
Yeah, he's a little thief bastard.
A little thief who's
mean-
getting people killed and shit. And he's trying to get like treasure and be rich and like all this selfish
Yeah,
shit.
he's not just Peter Parker.
It's not, yeah.
I mean, Nathan Drake in the games doesn't really come off as like a scoundrel. He I guess it's more like Nathan Fillion in like Firefly, where he's kind of like the dashing rogue.
Yeah,
But he's not. He doesn't ever do like. They don't try to play him up as being like.
No, they don't play
like a
him.
real bastard.
They don't play
that
him up
he is.
like this either. But I mean, if you're looking like at a score chart of like what the fuck this guy has done, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, what a piece of shit.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, like him stealing the bracelet at the beginning from that chick at the bar was like kind of a weird move for me. I was like, that doesn't seem like something he would actually do. But what the hell do I know?
Because you're thinking of him as Spider-Man.
No, I'm
he's
thinking
saying
of him as
Nathan
Nathan
Drake.
Drake
Oh, you're
in this
thinking- oh,
context. I'm
that's
like,
what
this
you're
is something that
saying.
Nathan Drake would not do, I don't think.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they just set up the character for me as the audience member who didn't play Uncharted. I just
No, I
accepted it.
understand why they did it. I'm just saying it felt kind of out of place considering like he's kind of still supposed to be goody two shoes.
Also, like, I know since the movie Pickpocket was made that there's like this trope about like really good, like almost a society of really good pickpocketers. I don't think that exists in real life, but maybe someone could correct me on that. But I always
I
think
don't know,
that's like a
maybe.
funny movie trope. I've seen it in and what's the other movie? Oh, it was like Ocean's 11 with Matt Damon as like the pickpocketer and like then he gets pickpocketed by someone else. That sequence of moves I've seen at least 3 times.
yeah.
And it's funny. And like it's a 1950s French film, and I think it might be the originator of it, but it might not be. But it's the oldest movie of that ilk that I've seen. It is called Pickpocket. It's a very famous movie, but there's one scene where he is obsessed with like stealing from people, and then he like meets another guy who's obsessed with stealing from people. And so like they've taken that trope and they have used that thing as like a real quick like 1-2 punch
Yeah.
thing in movies, which I don't think exists, but I think it's just kind of funny that we accept those kind of things. Like we just accept movie language pickpocket societies are like, "Ooh, he's real good. You didn't even notice. And you were a pickpocket yourself."
Yeah.
The camera cut and then he said, "Do you have the cross?" And then she suddenly had the cross.
Yeah.
I don't even know if she opened up his backpack. I wasn't paying attention,
No, I
which I
didn't
guess means
see
the
that
trick worked.
At all, yeah. Fringe says your opinion on TV is like reading a bit of a book and saying the book was trash. So
I saw that. I wasn't going to respond to
A4
it unless one of you guys brought it up.
A4 is the
and
Cameron of TV shows. Cameron
Look,
just walks in and is like,
if you were reading a book and it started out about describing taking a shit in like excruciating detail, and you just flipped through and saw some other parts later in the book and it was still describing taking a shit, you probably wouldn't read the whole book.
yeah, probably. Oh, what was that meme that was
Also, I'm a jerk and I do this.
what
You
was
know
that
this.
that meme online? Oh, it was Horizon. Was it Horizon Forbidden West or something like that? And they were like somebody was like, "I hate this game." And they're like, "How do you know it? How do you know it? Shit hasn't come out yet." And it's like a guy like just about to take a dump. I can't remember what it was for.
I
But I was
retweeted
like,
that.
"Oh,
That-
that's
yeah.
a pretty good one."
No, because it was someone saying, "How do you know it's shit? It hasn't come out yet." And it's a guy squatting over the guy's plate, and it's talking about Lord of the Rings, the new show.
Oh, that's what it was. The new Lord of the Rings show. I'm like, you don't know. How do you know what shit hasn't come out yet?
He's just squatting over this guy's plate with his pants down.
Yeah. I was like, after the Wheel of Time, like that's kind of how I'm feeling. Like I'm not feeling too hopeful about this Lord of the Rings thing. Gotta be honest here. I'm kind of more excited for the fucking Gollum game, where you get to play as one of the least effective people in the universe. Gollum.
I think
mean, they
that
had the
company
ring,
just got
but-
bought by Tencent too, which is like that gigantic Chinese company. Also, the producer of the Monster Hunter movie. So
Yeah,
there's
I
that.
saw that. I saw the Toho and then the Tencent. And I was like, oh.
I was surprised Toho was even involved in the Monster Hunter movie. I forgot to mention that last week, but yeah,
Yeah, anytime
that
there's
was
a giant
nuts.
monster,
Probably
they have,
why
like,
the
rights to
special
it.
effects on the monsters look so damn good.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can't make
Better
a
than
movie.
the special effects in Uncharted, at least.
You can't make a movie without.
I think they
Monster
are
movie with that.
generally better than the effects in Uncharted, except for the cat,
What
Yeah,
if
the
this
cat
movie
in
had a
Uncharted
giant
was
talking
an
cat,
actual
though?
cat.
the pirate cat.
Oh yeah, no, there's like a real cat in this movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That was a
oh,
good
yeah.
joke where
yeah.
he's like, he made him buy a cat for like the heist, and he's like, "Why did I need the cat?" It's like, you just seem lonely. I thought you want a friend. And then at the end of the movie, when they tease like Uncharted 1 as like being the next movie, he's got the cat in the backpack.
yeah.
Yeah,
I thought that was a cute little detail.
I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed it.
I really did.
I went
I
out of it,
had,
it was
I
like-
had a good time.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it might have been because I went in with like rock bottom expectations, but
Yeah,
I mean,
me too. Me too. to be
it was
honest.
fun. Like it's just a dumb, fun movie. I likened it to like Transformers, like some of the later Transformers flicks, where it's like, yeah, it's not especially great, but like if you just turn your brain off, it's pretty entertaining.
I never saw him. I saw the first
Yeah.
one, and that was it. That
Also with Mark Wahlberg, at least in 4 and 5. So
Yeah, doesn't he take the place of Shia LaBeouf?
yeah, he's like the dad, and he's like weirdly protective of his super hot daughter.
is he playing Shia LaBeouf's character?
No,
or-
he's like a different guy.
Oh, I
wow.
thought he was
I
playing the
think
same
I
character.
think in one of those
Weird
newer
choice.
Transformers movies, they like mentioned Sam Witwicky, and he like went crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Which I guess kind of matches real life Shia LaBeouf.
I
but
think that might be the joke. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
guy's
I saw
nuts.
his episode of Hot Ones, by the way. I don't think Shia LaBeouf is like a real human anymore. I think he's like gone like full lizard brain.
Have
Because
you
like all the
seen-
things he says in that episode are like the weirdest things I've ever heard anyone say.
Have you seen Honey Boy or just Honey? Have you seen Honey Boy?
I've not seen Honey Boy. I heard it's great though.
It's really good. It's
Yeah.
really good. Where it's like he wrote it. I think he directed it. I'm not sure if he directed it, but it's like autobiographical about his childhood.
Yeah,
That was a pretty powerful little movie.
I've heard it was good.
And it honestly it gets you a little bit of perspective. Like imagine being
Crazy.
that. No, just imagine.
no, I mean, I
being-
don't blame him for being like a weird reptilian because he like grew up as a Disney kid. So
Yeah,
like
those-
it makes sense.
those Disney kid lives. Like if you just like look up any one of their like Wikipedia pages, you're like, oh Jesus Christ.
like
like-
Lindsay Lohan, him,
Yeah. Ugh.
Hillary Duff, probably.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm thinking of like I think Hillary
Demi
Duff
Lovato,
might be the only one that's coming out kind of normal, but
Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande, like just imagine having all that attention
Yeah,
from
Yep.
that
At that young an age.
of an age, and then having that much power that quickly, but everybody wants to get a piece of you.
yeah.
I don't know, like if we can go like, yeah, Shia is crazy. Let's like, I'm like, yeah, of course he is. What the fuck?
I'm not like trying to
Malcolm in
victim
the
blame
middle,
here. Like I
that
know
kid.
why he's
Yeah.
like that, but you know,
I don't know. I can believe that he could come from Harrison Ford's loins, though. Unlike dude from Star Wars, that I just can't buy.
oh, Adam Driver.
Yeah, Adam Driver, like, because in
physically,
yeah,
because Adam Driver's a giant.
yeah, yeah. He's like a massive freak of a person
He looks like a willow tree.
in every way. Yeah, he kind of does, just kind of blowing in the wind. his
Sculpted out of a
arms.
willow from a
Dude, that's
Native
gonna be
American
so. That's
dude.
gonna be so
yeah,
great.
from a
when
Native
they
American dude
remake-
with kind of a dull knife. Like,
that's gonna be so great when Disney
I think he's-
remakes Pocahontas
really
and
good
they
actor. I
and they,
really
they
like him.
cast him as
He
the
is.
willow tree that talks to her.
yeah. Hey.
He's
Remember
gonna have
that
like a
show,
weird
Girls?
CGI nose.
Yeah, huge.
I really like Adam Driver. I like him a lot.
I like
just-
Adam Driver. I actually think that Kylo Ren might be like one of the best things to come out of the sequel trilogy.
I haven't seen the last movie, but I think his character's annoying. as per the first two.
His character's annoying in the first one, to be sure.
He's fucking annoying in both.
He kind of fixes it in The Last Jedi. It's like one of the few positive moments in that movie is like how they handle his character kind of like dealing with everything.
Nah, dude, I hate it.
I have the opposite opinion on that.
Maybe the last one
I
helps
think
it.
I think he was fine in the first movie, decent bad guy, good twist where he kills his father, whatever. The second movie where like they're having the connection together and then they decided that together as a team they're gonna take on these people. I hate that shit. I hate that
I mean,
shit.
that was lame.
And then he's
yeah.
like, "Just
That's
kidding."
not really what I like. I don't know. I feel like his character is like the only one in that fucking series of films that actually has an arc.
Or like
I haven't
acts
seen
like a person.
the Rise of
Yeah.
Skywalker, so I don't know how that concludes. But you know,
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't either.
All right.
I don't like his character though. It's because he can't make up his mind.
I just don't like that episode 8. I like episode 9 a lot better than I like episode 8. I know I'm in the minority there, but
Are you really?
yeah, I am. I'm in the strong minority. It's like me and Timo are like in an island of people who liked episode 9 and hated episode 8.
well, I mean, I generally I heard that episode 9 was better than episode 8, but that's not really a high bar to fucking cross because episode 8 is like literally subatomic. It's that fucking low.
No, but here's the thing. Every time I bring this on the show, there will be a billion people going like, episode 9 was dog shit. Like a lot of people hate
mean,
episode 9.
You're not saying that episode 9 isn't dog shit. It's just better than episode
I
8.
didn't think it was dog shit. I enjoyed episode 9.
Okay,
Like
well,
I
don't know.
legitimately was like, it's a forgettable Star Wars, which most Star Wars movies aren't. But it's like, yeah, I enjoyed that. Okay. It was
Episode
kind of dumb, but I felt like to me, and I realize why this can piss off a lot of people because a lot of people are like episode 8 lovers. It's like to me, it did some retconning and fixed a lot of the shit that episode 8 decided to open up. So it's
Yeah.
like because JJ came back and he's like, I'm gonna finish what I started.
Like, look what you did. No, I mean, like, the thing that I really, truly will never understand are, like, the people who vehemently defend The Last Jedi as, like, a
Never.
good movie.
Never
And I'm like, oh,
understand
you're
that.
just, like, an actual idiot.
And I love Ryan Johnson, so I hate how to like tear that movie up every time. And I don't think that movie's a bad movie. I do think it's a horrible Star Wars, but I think it's like
Yeah, like, if it
in a
wasn't
lot
Star
of
Wars
ways
movie,
is
it
well
could be good.
made, and then there's like some really good there's some high highs. But man, I'm just thinking about that movie and thinking about the decisions they made. I'm just like, oh god.
I'm just thinking about that, like, weird big
Meta.
boobed lady screaming at the casino planet and just
I'm more
burn into my fucking mind.
I'm more anti the theme of the movie that was like rattled against my head, which is like we have to forget the old Star Wars, and they literally
Yeah.
have the kid at the end with the broom, and that scene is honestly the scene that like I enjoy like the casino part. I honestly have no problem. I only watched the movie once, so I don't know if I have no problem with
only
it. But
watched
I
it once,
watched
too.
it with the one-time watch of where I was just like going along for the ride. It was like I was fine with it. It was like fine with the Benicio del Toro shit. I
I would have been
didn't
fine with
bore
it if it had even contributed to the plot in any way. They
Yeah.
literally didn't have to go do
But
that.
that kid, that like meta story that they were telling that was like forced in there clunkily, just like really bothers me.
McClunkily.
Yeah, McClunkily. Yeah, but I mean Ryan Johnson then made Knives Out, so he
I don't know if I've seen any of his other movies. I didn't see Looper. I'm pretty sure he did that, right?
Looper is better than almost all of the Star Wars movies.
All right.
Looper
And I've heard Knives Out was good.
and Knives
I haven't seen it
Out
yet.
was better than all of the Star Wars movies.
But I'm not like averse to seeing Knives Out just because he directed it after The Last Jedi. I've heard it was really good. I think the problem with The Last Jedi is it has Star Wars attached to it, and
Looper
and it's not a good Star Wars movie. You're right.
Looper is a fucking amazing fucking
Yeah.
movie.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but
Oh my god. I think
Yeah,
that's a
I have
movie
to
you
see
would
that.
like. That's
Yeah.
that's like real like good and gritty and crazy and
the
Yeah.
problem I think with the episode 8 is it's like the ultimate postmodern Star Wars movie where it's like, well, Star Wars doesn't really matter.
No, yeah, that's the
You're
part.
like, yeah, but you're a Star
It's
Wars
literally
movie.
all about
well,
subverting expectations. The entire movie is subverting your expectations from start
yeah,
to finish.
I mean, we
Yeah.
got the point because he labeled it out very, very, very loudly. But like it was separate from the actual narrative of the movie we were watching. So it was like interjected in there in an uncomfortable way. Like it's just
Yeah.
not it I don't think it works. I realized what he was trying to do and you can give him like a good pat on the back. Like clearly, only a genius could make a movie that horrible. Or excuse me, a movie horrible in that way.
Yeah.
Is what I really.
It takes
meant
a
to say.
lot of genius to fuck up that bad.
No, like yeah, it takes a lot of genius to fuck up. You got Star Wars, and you're like,
Fucked up that well.
and you're like, well, I have a great idea, and like it's an interesting idea, but maybe you should have done a couple more drafts.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Game of Thrones subverts your expectations too, but it doesn't do it for the sake of subverting your
No, yeah,
expectations.
that's the problem with it.
And then when it started
just
doing
for the
that,
sake of
that's when it turned to shit at the end. When it did it for the sake of doing it, that's when it's like, all right, now you guys are becoming the show that everyone that doesn't watch you thinks you are, and you weren't, but then now you are. But that's what that Star Wars movie is.
You
Yeah,
either
it's
end
just,
after 5
fuck
seasons,
you.
or you go on long enough to see yourself subvert yourself into being a laughingstock.
Exactly. You become the monster that everyone thinks you are after.
I
after
would
five,
put
six,
I would
six
put
seasons.
Looper over every Star Wars movie except for the first two.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Damn. All
As
right.
like a sci-fi action movie, fuck yeah, and like well made and like interesting and
I'll
Is
have
that
to
the
get
one
on
where
that
they,
then,
like,
'cause
teleport?
I've been meaning to watch it for years.
so there's like a time. He goes back in time and he has his like younger self there. And,
Mm.
yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. It's got like Emily Blunt in it. And,
Nice. Yeah.
All right.
Dug this too. It's
Yeah.
good.
Dug this. Sorry, we're getting off topic. The problem is with a good movie, you also can't even rip into it. You're just like, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's a
I know
totally serviceable like Uncharted movie. I liked it. It was fun.
You can
it was
tell-
dumb.
You can tell it's a good movie when we do the exact same thing we do for a bad movie, but we first say that it was a good movie.
If they do end up making the first game into the sequel, which is what they teased at the end, then I will probably go see that.
I'll see the sequel.
Right, for sure.
I know it like didn't get their very good reviews. Like the reviews are kind of tepid on
That's
it.
what I mean. Like people were shitting. Like I was on Letterboxd and like everyone was shitting on this, and I'm like, really? Like I thought it was fine. Like it was.
I had
good
this. I had
time.
a similar kind of thing where I was like, wow, you know.
I mean, I'd
And
probably
I think
put
I think it got like a 60 something on Rotten Tomatoes, which is fresh.
I
so.
think, guys, I mean, I'm thinking maybe Detective Pikachu is above it.
maybe.
Oh, Detective Pikachu is definitely above this, but like this is still good.
I don't know if I'd put the definitely that hard, but I think it
Detective
is
Pikachu
better.
might be my favorite video game movie, honestly, at this point.
I think it's the best one. I don't know how they can actually make a sequel to it, but are they actually going to? Because it's been a little while.
I don't think so.
was about
They're
to say,
making
like-
a sequel to the game, Detective Pikachu. Like all these articles came out like in the past couple weeks that are like, Detective Pikachu 2 has been announced, and it's like, but not the movie, the sequel to the 3DS game that no one played, that the movie is
Okay.
based on.
All right. Yeah. Well, that's sad. but,
Also, Uncharted has a 41 on Rotten Tomatoes, but it has an audience score of 90. So
yeah, that tells you.
yeah,
So it's really a 75.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, why are the critics against this one? What the hell?
I don't know, but I also
I
don't
don't know
why
what it
the
is.
critics are
I
for
said
the
earlier,
Last
it's like
Jedi.
an
That makes
aggressively
no sense.
average like adventure movie. Like
Yeah.
someone on Letterboxd put a review that was
Aggressively
like, we
average,
made an AI
but-
watch 1,000 action adventure movies and then had it write one of its own, which it kind of feels like that. But that's just because
Yeah.
it's what Joe was saying earlier. It's a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. It's like, yeah, it's not very original, but it's still fun and well
It is,
executed.
but
so.
it's not done with like someone dragging their feet and not wanting to write something. Like this is actually like someone tried to make a good movie, and I think they succeeded.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think they wanted something like fun and rompy and twisty, and it's well shot. And I think it's well directed. It's very well acted, and I don't
Yeah.
have that many problems with it. It's no Indiana Jones, but I mean,
yeah.
what is?
But
Yeah,
it is better
exactly.
than most, if not all, of the Tomb Raider movies. Probably all of the
Yeah,
Tomb Raider
it's
movies.
I have to
better than-
rewatch
it's better
the
than-
first two. I haven't
it's
seen them in
better
a hot
than-
minute.
They're bad. Yeah, it's better than all the Tomb Raider movies.
Yeah, because even the most recent one is
No,
Most
but
recent
I-
one was
kind of
on the
boring.
higher
I
end
remember
of video
liking the
game
first
movies, but-
one in like a dumb way, much in the same way that I like this or Mortal Kombat. I'm like, it's not like an amazing movie. It's not going to blow your mind, but like, it's just kind of dumb fun.
Yeah, I think we ranked Tomb Raider 2 above 1.
Yeah, we both did.
But it has the
Okay.
most ridiculous opening ever, where she like cuts herself a little and like lures the shark, and then
Yeah,
uses
the
the
shark.
shark as like a mount to get out of the ocean. It's fucking sweet, dude. It's crazy. Only
I
in a
have the
sequel.
Blu-rays you sent me. I'll have to watch those again.
Only in the sequel. Yeah, it's and then the reboot one it's kind of like
The
this one,
reboot's
but
a
it's more
way better
boring.
movie
Oh yeah, it's way better
than
Like,
the
it's way
original
better.
Tomb Raiders.
I haven't seen the reboot. All I know about it is Daddy
Yeah.
I do love.
50.
I don't know who I love looking at more, Alicia Vikander or Angelina Jolie, but
I don't know. They're both attractive, but they both have weird looking things about them. So
Yeah, like
what's
Vikander's
weird
head is weird looking.
The no,
I don't know.
she's got like a 7-foot long neck.
what the fuck is wrong with you people?
with a giant head attached.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
She's still hot though, and
She's corny.
Angelina Jolie. I don't know.
Young Angelina Jolie.
Her lips
she
are
can
too
get it.
much.
As she. Never mind. I'm not gonna.
As she ages,
Like the cheeks have gotten like more like. I don't know if she's just like skinnier than she used to
they're
be.
like fucking huge.
But like she's really skinny and like her cheeks are just like sunk in almost now.
She's starting to look like the character she plays in
But then again,
Beowulf.
she did have like
Or
cancer
Maleficent.
and shit. So I don't
Or
know
Maleficent.
like I don't know like how much weight loss was from like having cancer and having to deal with that, or just being an actress and having to be forced to be like really skinny.
Yeah.
But she almost like her with a little bit of baby fat on her is pretty attractive. So at least to me.
Yeah. No, she's pretty smoking.
Alicia Vikander in Anna Karenina. I think it's I fell in love with her. I think it was like a different because it was I think it's her first movie or first major movie. And I watched that thing and I was like, that woman.
I mean, I'd let
gorgeous.
her stab me to death and have me locked inside an underground an underground bunker owned by an insane genius.
And she's beautiful. Like in Tomb Raider, she's supposed to look like tough, and she's got like muscle and stuff like that. And she's on that skinny little body, so it's not really that like feminine looking or anything like that. But
yeah, but it's
when
based on the
she's-
reboot, so it kind of fits. Like
when
Lara
she's
Croft
all
is decidedly less
here's the thing though. When she is like really feminized in like a different role for a movie, it's like, oh my god. And, like they got,
like Ex Machina,
soft,
yeah.
like the soft light. Oh yeah, Ex Machina is a really good example of that. She's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
wow, look at that head on top of that robot body.
Yeah. Look at that head on top of that super long robot neck.
I don't
No,
think
but
she
it's
has-
okay because then she goes inside the
Beautiful
one
neck.
room later and
Beautiful
steals a
neck.
pair of tits.
It's not like the guy from what was that movie? Shakespeare in Love, who's got like a 9-foot long neck.
Joseph Fiennes.
Yeah.
Can we stop judging people's appearance so
Dude, it's
much
the
on
ne-
this
it's-
show?
it's
You know
weird.
how ugly all of us are?
Yeah, and
Just
it's
a bunch
funny
of
to
like
make fun of
schlubby,
myself, too.
disgusting dudes being like, "Oh, look at her neck."
Look how fucking long that neck is. What are you gonna suck your own clit?
That Jesus Christ. We're looking at
Joe, the
like
best thing
some of
about
the
Joe,
most
the
beautiful
best thing
people on the
about making
planet. We're
fun-
like, nah, she's got a long neck.
Yeah, have you seen
Joe,
how
the best part about making fun of other people's appearances is that I also make fun of my appearance, and therefore it's totally
have you
fine.
seen Emma Watson's 12 head? For fuck's sake.
Jesus Christ.
Especially in Beauty and the Beast.
I don't even
Good
know what's
Lord.
going on up there. Like, what is
She doesn't need the magic mirror in Beauty and the Beast. She could just look in a mirror at her own fucking forehead.
What? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know where
That
I was
makes
going
no
with that. I don't know.
because she's reading all those
it's like
books.
reflective 'cause it's so
Also a
big.
gorgeous woman. It'd be like, it's
Oh
like
no, trust me, dude. I had the biggest crush on Hermione when I was a kid. I know what you're talking about. It's all good.
everybody did.
That was when she had
Yeah.
a mere 6 head.
Jesus
Oh, that was
Christ. What the
doubled.
fuck's wrong with you people?
She just had some bangs, so it like worked.
Also, my favorite thing is like to have an actress, like a leading actress on screen, and everybody's like, meh. Like, because we're just used to like American film. It usually happens with a foreign movie. It's like, man, she's not that hot. Meh. And I'm like, if she was in the room, she'd be the hot chick in the room. But because she's in a movie, we're all like,
I don't
meh.
know if I could buy that.
No, I miss the thing that like 80s and 90s movies did where there was like the dorky chick that ends up becoming the love interest at the end, and by the end you're like convinced like, yeah, she's pretty hot actually.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I believe that. The whole like they're hotter in real life than they are on the film. Like
They no, yeah, like your hyper judgment. I'm watching this person on a screen, and you know
I mean-
she's not a 10 to me, and therefore But yeah, but I mean, as far as like what you could get in real life, as far as like what's in the room and on the street and at your work, and like
What's on the street? What are we talking about here?
I'm talking about
women or
walking
like...
past women on the street.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about.
At the gym.
At
I'll
the
tell you, at the
gym.
gym, you're
At
like,
the gym,
oh.
shoveling free pizza in your mouth.
the gym.
Yeah.
You're just looking over at fucking. You're just looking over at the bitch who plays Chloe in this movie, just
Jesus
like
Christ.
licking pizza grease off of her fingers, and you're like,
Yeah, and you're like, I just came twice.
So I'm telling you, like you can like poo poo whatever these like objectively gorgeous people are.
Joe,
and you'd
I'm
be
just
like,
making.
they come into the room right here, and you'd be like, you'd just be staring at them.
Joe, I'm just making comedic
My God.
observations about people's appearances for the sake of our comedy
Ah,
podcast.
my God.
Is it
It
Joseph
is in no
Fiennes?
way an indictment of their
that movie?
physical appearance, like as a whole. It is just, hey, that
Shakespeare in
bitch
Love,
kind of
yeah.
has a long neck in the movie. It's funny.
Is he Ralph Fiennes' like kid or something?
It's Ralph Fiennes' brother.
Oh, how come Ralph doesn't?
Or
Did he
Rafe.
steal his
I
neck?
think his name is Rafe Fiennes.
Are Ralph and Ray finds like a related?
Rafe Fiennes and Joseph Fiennes.
Who the fuck am I thinking of?
Joseph
Who played
Fiennes.
Voldemort? I'm losing my
That's
mind.
Rafe Fiennes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's really good.
Rafe Fiennes
His
and
mother's not
Joseph
bad.
Fiennes were both famous in the 90s, and then Joseph Fiennes didn't have quite the lasting popular career as Rafe Fiennes. So Rafe Fiennes is still in a lot of movies. Joseph Fiennes is still in a lot of movies, but they're not a lot of movies that you've seen.
Who's
Joseph Fiennes' last big movie, or at least one where like a lot of people were aware of it, I don't think it did well at the box office, was the remake of Ben-Hur from like 2015. He was the lead in that.
Hmm.
So, but Joseph Fiennes was the lead in Shakespeare in Love.
Okay.
Ben Affleck was also in that, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you're thinking of Rafe Fiennes.
Yeah, no, it's not. Ben Affleck doesn't have a huge neck. Long neck. Ben Affleck is...
He is way too buff to play a lazy house husband, but yeah.
Yeah. And then honestly, he in real life, he's kind of seems like a lazy house husband, honestly.
That's
Like
there's
every
that fucking picture of him like picking up like a Grubhub order of like Dunkin' Donuts on his front lawn. And he's just looking at the paparazzi people like, God, you fucking leeches.
Yeah. Or the one where he's like smoking the cigarette outside.
Oh, I
getting his
love
gut
that
out.
one, dude.
He just looks like shit. It's like, Batman ruined me. Batman ruined me.
Joseph hires escorts confirmed? No. Nope. I just go long periods without having sex.
Yeah, like my whole
He hires
life.
prostitutes.
And then not for a few weeks, and then my whole life again.
Here and there.
You know, it's occasional
Occasionally.
minge. Long periods of forever.
It's been 8 years. I
It's
think I'm gonna
not
spoil
forever.
myself
Don't
with some
fucking
pussy
do
as
it.
a treat.
Yeah. Hires escorts. Yeah, like I could afford that shit.
Yeah.
I wish I could afford that shit. I wish it was an option. Just like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm lonely.
Yeah. Oh, I had a joke. I keep seeing all this stuff online.
I'll just throw money at my problem.
I keep seeing stuff online like it's all this stuff like sex work is work. And I'm just thinking like, what could that like to me that's ridiculous because it's like, I mean, it's work, but it's also something that everybody just
But it's
does.
also play.
So I'm like,
I was gonna say that.
I'm like, okay, well, like I want to get like pictures of like morbidly obese people and be like, eating work is work. Like, because to me, that's how ridiculous it sounds to me. It's like people eat,
Hold on now.
people have sex because we
Schweiss,
have to.
Schweiss, I'm gonna
Breathing work
poke a
is
hole in your
work,
argument.
twice.
No,
I'm gonna poke a hole in it. I'm gonna poke a hole in your argument, and that is like some people do make a living doing food challenges.
no, that's true.
And
Very
for
few.
them, eating is work.
Eating is work. But I'm like, what other biological requirements are we going to be like, blank work is work? It's like eating work is work. Sleeping work
biological-
is work. I sleep all day and thus I should be paid for my hours of slumber.
To
'cause
be
it's
fair,
required.
having sex is not necessarily a requirement.
It is if the
it's-
species, I mean, maybe not like
No,
at
I
this
understand
point,
what you
but-
mean by that, but I mean, like, there are people who can go through their whole lives without having sex and just not like die from it.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's true. But like as
It is technically optional.
On
not
the-
fucking
Yeah,
with the
it is
species,
technically
but-
optional. We've had the argument about like fucking dudes in prison, and again, it's still optional. And yes, if you fuck a dude in prison, you are still at least bi, if not gay. I don't care how tough you are. I don't care how long it's been since you've gone without. you're gay, and you just don't want to admit it.
Yeah, that's
Just
fair.
accept it.
I mean,
Anyway, Joe, if you keep
like
making
you
movies and
accepted
get
a
more
dick in
famous,
your
you could be
asshole.
you could get enough money to be the next Harvey Weinstein.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'm just saying. Like, I wonder how ridiculous we're gonna get with like the insert biological need, like something your body makes you want. That's not like a choice. It's not a choice. It's something that you have to have.
Doing heroin is work.
Yeah, heroin work is work. Like sleep work is work.
Dude, I have a friend who told me
Water.
he did not masturbate until he was in his 20s.
Really?
He never once did it.
Wow.
Dude,
And I was
that-
like,
that
what
nut had
the
to have come out
fuck?
exactly like.
well, my confusion is like, well, that means about once a month you were woken up by the explosion? Because I only ever had that happen to me once.
Your body's like, get it out.
Yeah, dude, that's what happens. You don't jerk off for a month, your body expels. And it is, it kind of hurts. Like, it kind of hurts.
I don't think I've ever heard of a hurtful nut.
Dude, well, here's the thing. I was thinking of my, there was a girl I used to do theater with named Emma who had gigantic tits. And I did actually tell her about this, so whatever.
Told her about her gigantic.
I told her I've had
You
my
men
first wet
have
dream in my
gigantic
life,
honky-donk
and
buggers.
you were in it. That's what that's what I told her. Because it was true. I just was like imagining her breasts smothering my face, and that's when I woke up to a throbbing, like pulsating, like evacuation, which
all
is
the swimmers.
both very pleasurable because it was like intense, and also like kind of hurts because so much shit was not shit, but so much stuff was being just like pushed through. Man,
It's like that Louis C.K. joke. It like just like starts taking milk and shit. Like, it's just like, oh, we got nothing left. Just give it the milk. The milk starts flying out of your cock.
Jesus,
It's just like,
I've never. Oh man, oof.
I guess it would be painful if like if you're not expecting it, then just all your semen is being expelled by
it's
force.
already,
if you fucked a vacuum cleaner. Or
There's already
something.
like enough, at least for me. I guess I'm just talking about my own experience here. There's enough like if you haven't gone for like 5 days, there's already like a bit of a whiplash, kind of like a bit of a like extra, like
Yeah,
like,
dude,
it's
yes.
just like
you got the
ugh.
mega load.
Yeah, just like, and
Um,
there's just like a bit of a like your muscles are like, ooh, we haven't been worked in a while. Don't
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
go
when I- when I
easy
kinda
on day
like
one.
that slight throbbing pain. It's just slight, like the pleasure overwhelms it, no doubt, and the dopamine is helpful. The whatever chemicals are pumping through you while you're pumping out. But that is where the fuck did we get here? How did I get to this subject?
So the Uncharted movie is like a painful nut. It's very
Yeah.
pleasurable, a little painful.
And then you look down and you just cannot believe how much laughter is coming out of you.
Oh no, yeah.
It's
yeah,
the
we were-
old laugh-gasm.
We were talking about how how gross Alicia Vikander's neck is.
I
Yeah.
never said it was gross.
That's twice as making
Not
fun of it.
once.
Oh my god!
No,
Bunch
it's
of-
her
just
head.
A
It
bunch
was
of like
long.
schlubby
Head's
guys, just like
Head's
right?
weird looking.
I don't know. I don't know. Who are we to speak?
Oh no, because French philosopher said you hired escorts. That's how we got here.
That's how we got.
Yeah.
That's how we got here.
Yeah, the time that you take. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah. I got a date tonight.
Yeah.
Let us
Man,
hope.
when you bust that first nut, you ever seen the show Devilman Crybaby on Netflix?
I got one date tonight. I got another date on Tuesday. I'm lining them up.
Line him up, knock him down.
Knocking them down.
Ron Perlman style.
I don't know if I'm knocking them down, but I'm lining them up.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm tired of talking about my lack of sex life. Let's move on, please, God.
Tired
Yeah.
of talking about my emissions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of.
Oh my God, that conversation the other day. You guys didn't even respond to her responses on that. I told like when you guys were like, "You should do it." I'm like, I was thinking in my head. I was
You
like,
said tepid, and I was like, I don't know what to add to this.
yeah, it was like, tepid response to like some really hardcore like.
That's not hardcore.
That's pretty hard
Come
for
on.
me. That's hardcore. That's like really heavy. Like without saying
it sounded like she was teeing you up for a fucking one-liner.
I
dude.
know. I got a text saying, or no, she was wearing like some cowboy thing, and I thought she looked good, so I was like, hey, that cowboy looks good on you, the cowgirl look. And she responded back, I just need a horse. And then I wanted to say immediately, like as soon as I saw the text, I was like, you can ride me anytime. You can ride me anytime. And I'm like, should I fucking say this? Because this is not the kind of relationship I have with this person.
At this time.
At this time. It is not open to, or it is, like I've done some like pokey, flirty kind of stuff.
Knocked at the
Not
back door.
that.
Yeah.
Not that. And it was like, haha. Like, there are not the words to describe. There's not an emoji to describe whatever. Like, she was like laughing at it, but not really playing along. And I was like, oh my God, tepid.
And then you just back off and then keep the conversation going.
Tepid
What you should have
performance.
done is.
I mean, I will. I mean, she texts me constantly. It's impossible.
Or you double
not to do
down,
it.
buy a fucking saddle and one of those horse masks, and then take a picture of it and send it to her.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, some have called me a horse before. ... And then like you sent a picture of you in the horse mask instead as like the joke that it's not your cock. Yeah.
That reminded me of that Bubba joke that I said in the Nude Clan thing too. When you guys were doing, that's why I said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a really good clip that you guys aren't gonna hear. Okay. All right, go watch Uncharted. It's fun.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a good time.
We'll see you guys next week.
See you then. Live always in the nude.
Are you walk with your cock held high? Are you doing giveaways this episode or?
Maybe. Don't worry about it.
All right.
What, are you just gonna leave that silence?
You haven't said yours.
Oh yeah, fuck off.
No!